Routines aren't exactly a glamorous topic. It's easy to see routines as a mundane aspect of life. But what I've discovered living a traveling freelance lifestyle for the majority of 2022 is that finding a good routine is essential for maintaining my mental health and staying productive, especially since moving to a new city can be such a daunting and disorienting experience. After being sick twice within 3 weeks of moving to Manila, it was really hard for me to stay positive and motivated, but I'm finally finding a routine that feels really good to me. In Brianna West's book, 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think, she writes, "Routine is not about what it consists of, but how steady and safe your conscious mind is made by repetitive motions and expected outcomes." I'd love to take you along my day living as a freelance content writer in Manila and show you what I've been up to that prioritizes my habits in my health and work that support my goals. But while structure and predictability is important, I think having flexibility in routine is equally as valuable. It's okay to mix things up and try new things, which is one of the reasons why I love to travel. This is my diary of the last few days of 2022, what my routine has been looking like, how I'm planning to stay productive in 2023, and how I rang in the new year. I was watching Yusuf's YouTube video on creating like a bullet journal in Notion, and I love bullet journaling. I'm a huge fan of bullet journaling. I love just having a place where I can jot down my notes, have snapshots of like what I'm thinking about and planning. Planning is just super fun in a bullet journal and such a great way to get all of that mental clutter in your mind onto a piece of paper and just have it organized. But it's not super practical having a bullet journal traveling. So when I stumbled upon Yusuf's template for a Notion bullet journal, I immediately needed to implement it into my life. So I set that up yesterday. I'm really excited to have it a part of my routine going into 2023. So what am I working on today? Today I am wrapping up an article on the endocannabinoid system. If you know anything about cannabis, THC, and CBD products, the endocannabinoid system is the primary system in the body through which these compounds work on. A lot of time content writing isn't really spent writing. It's mostly spent on research and editing. And so today I am starting an article, which means I'll be doing a lot of research looking into microdosing marijuana. Microdosing psychoactive substances, typically LSD and magic mushrooms, have become super trendy. It involves taking subperceptual doses of the psychoactive compound, meaning you don't actually get high. It doesn't change your state of consciousness. Taking really, really small doses so that the active compounds kind of work in the background of your brain to help with forming better brain connections so that you can have creative breakthroughs, enhance mood, that sort of thing. Most of the data on this come from surveys of participants, so it's really subjective. Nonetheless, it's really an interesting topic to dive into and look at. Anyways, the topic of microdosing psychoactive substances has been really interesting because it's been bringing a lot of these psychedelic drugs into the mainstream. Microdosing marijuana, on the other hand, I haven't heard too much about it or if there are any benefits to taking these subperceptual doses of THC, so I'll be looking into that. I'm going to block out my time today using a Pomodoro timer, which is basically... Okay, so now that the fire alarm testing is over, I wanted to get back to explaining how I was going to tackle my tasks today. I like to block out my time using a Pomodoro timer. It's basically where I set a timer for 45 minutes and then give myself a 15-minute break to just step away from my work or just do anything else. This helps me just stay on track and focused and get into that deep work. I've been a content writer for over 5 years, and so I know how long it should take me to do these tasks. And when I don't set myself up with a super strict Pomodoro timer, I will go off track. It'll take me way longer to do a task. So this year going into 2023, I want to be super strict with my time blocking and Pomodoro timers. I'm just taking a quick lunch break here. I really don't mind eating the same meals and leftovers regularly. Having go-to places and eating the same meals all the time, for me, just takes a lot of the planning and guesswork out of meal prep. Typically, the end of my workday usually looks like grabbing dinner with N after work and a quiet night home learning video editing or editing these videos. We made dinner and drink plans this evening. My friend Kristen introduced me to her friend via Instagram, who is also from Calgary and living in Manila for the next several months. Her and her partner are also living that digital nomad lifestyle as well. And while again, routine is super important, I always try to make room for flexibility, for trying something new, and especially meeting new people, which is why we are traveling. I want to fast forward because December 30th was just a regular working day, so it looked pretty much the same as yesterday. We wanted to make the most of our last day in 2022 by doing one of our favorite activities together, which was visiting the bouldering hive and Makati circuit. For me, part of finding a routine that makes me feel like me is to take care of my physical health, which is why we have a membership to a gym and buy passes to climbing gyms. I love indoor climbing as a sport for several reasons. Firstly, it's a solo sport, so the only person you're competing with is yourself, but it's also very much embedded in community. We've been able to meet such kind and interesting people in the gyms that we've visited here, but also in the States, and for me through Europe and in Canada as well. It's also physically and mentally challenging. Every time I push myself to try harder problems and succeed, I feel a sense of accomplishment. Through climbing, I'm working on mental resilience, learning how to stay calm under pressure, and to quiet the voice of fear in my head. I am very, very afraid of heights. Finally, it's something that N and I can do together to spend quality time, which is always a bonus. This session was rough for the both of us. We were feeling really sore from the week, and so we weren't climbing our best, but we still had a lot of fun.
We just finished up at the gym and are looking for something to eat. And the mall ALS Circuit has a bunch of restaurants, and for some reason we've been avoiding this place, Mesa, even though their menu sounds really good, but it's because every time we walk by it we see this guy and we're like, no, that can't be good, like, come on. It looks like an infomercial of restaurants, but we decided today we'll give it a go.
We just got home and are getting ready to leave. We're gonna go meet with N's parents and his aunt and uncle at the Marriott Hotel. There's like a resort world kind of by the airport with a bunch of New Year's Eve countdown activities. So we are gonna go have dinner there, have some drinks there, and just hang out with the family.